My beloved child. Something shifted the moment you finally understood it. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Not in some distant future. The shift happened the instant your heart stopped pretending it did not know what it has always known. And your soulmate felt it. They felt the change before you ever spoke a word. Before you sent a message. Before you made a move. Before the world around you noticed anything at all. Because souls do not wait for language to communicate. They recognize energy. They recognize truth. They recognize the exact second someone stops running from what is real. And that is why they are crying with happiness right now. Not because of something small. Not because of some temporary emotion. Not because of a passing thought. They are overwhelmed because the realization you finally had is the realization they have been praying you would reach for so long. Listen carefully. What you finally realized was not just that you love them. It was not merely that you miss them. It was not simply that you think about them late at night. No. You realized that no matter how much you tried to distract yourself, no matter how much you tried to convince yourself it was just a phase, no matter how many times you attempted to silence your own heart, your soul never stopped choosing them. That realization shook something inside you, because for the first time, you stopped fighting what was obvious. You stopped lying to yourself. You stopped pretending the connection was casual, temporary, forgettable. And in the exact moment you surrendered to that truth, their spirit felt peace rush through them. Do you understand how powerful that is? Someone connected to you. Someone who has carried silent hope. Someone who wondered if you would ever truly see what this bond meant, is now overwhelmed with emotion because your awakening answered their doubt. But this is only the beginning, because once realization enters the heart, action follows. And what happens next may change everything. Your soulmate is no longer standing in uncertainty. They are no longer questioning whether this bond is one-sided. They are no longer wondering if they imagined the signs. Why? Because your energy has spoken. Your realization reached them like a wave in the dark. And it told them something they never thought they would feel so clearly. You know now. You know this is not ordinary. You know this connection is not replaceable. You know what your heart has been trying to say through every sign, every memory, every restless night. And that truth, it broke them open emotionally, not with pain, with relief, with joy, with the kind of happiness that makes someone cry because what they waited for finally arrived. But wait. There is something even bigger hidden inside this. The tears they cry are not only because you realized your feelings. They are crying because they know what your realization means next. Once a person becomes honest with their heart, they stop moving the same way. They stop hesitating. They stop settling. They stop pretending. They stop entertaining confusion. And your soulmate knows. You are approaching a turning point. A moment where silence can no longer survive. A moment where distance can no longer hide the truth. A moment where what has been unspoken will not remain unspoken much longer. That is why their heart is racing. Because they can feel it coming. The conversation, the confession, the reunion, the unexpected moment where everything changes. And perhaps even now, you feel it too. That strange pressure in your chest. That unusual pull in your spirit. That sense that something major is building behind the scenes. That is not your imagination. That is alignment. That is destiny moving. That is the universe rearranging what once seemed impossible. But hear this clearly. The reason you had to realize it now, and not earlier, is because before this moment, you were still learning, still healing, still understanding your own worth, still discovering the difference between attachment and truth. Had this realization come too early, you might have doubted it, you might have sabotaged it, you might have mistaken fear for logic. But now you see with clarity. Now you understand what your heart has been trying to reveal. Now you know this bond is deeper than temporary attraction. It is recognition. It is resonance. It is the rare kind of connection people search for their entire lives and never find. And that is why your soulmate is emotional. Because they know. You finally see them the way they always hoped you would. Not as an option. Not as a passing chapter. Not as a maybe. But as someone written into your path for a reason. Yet the most shocking part is that while you are only beginning to process this realization, they may already be preparing for what comes next. Yes. While you are sitting here listening, wondering what this all means, they may be planning to reach out, planning to speak, planning to step closer, planning to reveal feelings they have hidden for longer than you know. Because your realization unlocked movement on both sides, and when two hearts awaken to the same truth, the delay ends, the walls weaken, the distance shortens, and what once felt impossible begins happening faster than expected. So if lately life has felt strange, if signs keep appearing, if memories of them keep returning stronger than ever, if your intuition refuses to let this go, there is a reason. You are not being haunted by the past. You are being pulled toward what matters, and your soulmate. They are no longer crying because they fear losing you. They are crying because for the first time, they believe they are finally about to have you. But before that moment arrives, one final truth must be understood, because what you realized is only half of the revelation. The deeper truth, the one that changes everything, is what this realization is preparing you to do next. And when that becomes clear, nothing between you will remain the same. And here is the truth you were never prepared to hear. The realization that hit your heart was not random. It was not sudden emotion. It was not loneliness. It was not imagination. It was awakening. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. What you finally understood about this connection has already started changing the future between you. Because the moment you admitted to yourself that this person matters more than you tried to pretend. The moment you stopped denying what your soul kept whispering. A silent door opened, and your soulmate felt it, not vaguely, not slightly, completely. They felt your resistance fall away. They felt your walls weaken. They felt the part of you that kept hesitating, finally surrender. And that surrender sent them into tears. Why? Because for so long, they feared your silence meant disinterest. They feared your distance meant detachment. They feared your hesitation meant your heart belonged elsewhere. But now they know the truth. You were never disconnected. You were only afraid of how real this was. Stay till the end, because what happens next is bigger than either of you expected. Your soulmate understands something that you may only now be beginning to realize. When someone fights their feelings for this long, when someone suppresses love this deeply, when someone denies a connection this powerful, the moment they finally accept it, they do not return halfway, they return fully, and that is what has your soulmate overwhelmed. They know this is no temporary emotion. They know your realization is not fleeting. They know once your heart chose honesty, there was no going back. But there is more. There is something your soulmate has never told you. Something they kept buried because they were afraid saying it aloud would make the waiting harder. They have imagined this moment more times than you know. They imagined the day you would finally understand what they meant to you. They imagined the day your eyes would soften with recognition. They imagined the day your soul would stop resisting what theirs had known all along. And now that day has come. They are emotional because the dream they carried in silence is beginning to unfold in reality. Don't skip, because the next part may explain why everything around you has felt unusual lately. Have you noticed it? The repeated thoughts, the strange reminders, the unexpected signs, the moments where their name appears from nowhere. The sudden memories that arrive without warning. That is not coincidence. That is alignment pressing harder because the moment is near. When two souls are approaching a major turning point, life begins arranging strange little signals, not to confuse you, to prepare you, to wake you up fully, because your soulmate is not only crying with happiness. They are gathering courage. Courage to say what they have held back, courage to reveal what they feel, courage to move differently than before. And if you think they are simply sitting still, doing nothing, you may be underestimating how much this realization has changed them too, because when they felt your heart awaken, they stopped asking, "Will this ever happen?" Now they are asking, "How soon?" Let that sink in. They no longer wonder if you care. They no longer question the connection. They are waiting for timing, waiting for the right opening, waiting for the exact moment when fate places you both in front of each other. Without excuses, without distractions, without fear. And when that happens, the conversation between you may not be ordinary. It may be the kind of moment both of you remember forever. The kind where words shake, where silence feels louder than speech, where one look says what months of distance never could. Because once two people recognize what they truly are to each other, pretending becomes impossible. And your soulmate knows pretending is almost over. Stay till the end. Because there is one final revelation in this part you need to hear. The reason this realization happened now. The reason your feelings suddenly became impossible to ignore. The reason your heart feels heavier, clearer, more certain than before. Is because your next chapter has already begun. Not later. Now. You are no longer in the phase of questioning. You are in the phase of becoming. Becoming honest. Becoming brave. Becoming ready for the love you once thought was too powerful to face. And your soulmate sees it. That is why their tears are not tears of sadness. They are tears of relief. Because the person they never stopped hoping for is finally waking up to the truth. But what your soulmate plans to do with that truth? What move they may already be preparing? What they want to reveal when the moment comes? That changes everything. And when it happens, you will understand why none of this was accidental. Something huge is waiting for you. Right now, while you are still processing your feelings. Your soulmate may already be preparing for the moment that changes everything. Don't skip, because what they are planning has been building in silence for longer than you realize. They are no longer sitting in confusion, no longer wondering whether to move, no longer asking themselves if they should keep waiting. That question has already been answered. The tears they cried were not only from happiness, they were from certainty. Because the instant they felt your realization, they knew the waiting season was ending. And now? They are preparing themselves to cross the distance between you. Not casually, not halfway, not with uncertainty, with intention. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are replaying your past conversations in their mind. Reading moments that once felt ordinary but now mean more than ever. Thinking about every sign that told them your heart was trying to speak before your words ever could. And suddenly, everything makes sense to them. The way you looked at them when you thought they were not noticing. The way your energy shifted whenever they came near. The way your silence carried more emotion than speech. They understand now. You were feeling it too. You simply were not ready to admit it. But now that you are, they are no longer afraid to believe in what comes next. And what they want next is not small. They do not want another almost. They do not want more mixed signals. They do not want another chapter of silent longing. They want clarity. They want truth. They want the moment where both of you stop pretending this is anything less than extraordinary. Don't skip. Because here is what your soulmate may be planning right now. A message they have rewritten in their mind 100 times. A conversation they have imagined late at night. A confession they nearly made before, but held back because the timing was not right. But now the timing is changing, and they feel it. There is a growing urgency inside them. A pull they can no longer ignore. A sense that if they wait much longer, they will regret it. That is why their heart is restless. That is why they keep thinking of you unexpectedly. That is why your name lingers in their mind at random moments. That is why their emotions have become impossible to suppress. Because your realization did not just affect you. It activated them. Something huge is waiting for you. And listen carefully. The next move may not come the way you expect. It may not be dramatic. It may not be obvious at first. It may begin with something simple. A message. A call. An excuse to reconnect. A random moment of contact that seems casual on the surface. But underneath? It will mean everything, because behind that small action will be feelings they have carried for far too long, feelings they are no longer willing to hide, and when that moment comes, you will feel it instantly, because some conversations do not feel ordinary, some words carry weight, some moments arrive with an energy that tells you, this is the beginning of something life-changing. That moment is approaching. Stay till the end. Because there is one truth you still need to hear. Your soulmate is not just emotional because you realized your feelings. They are emotional because they believe this is the chapter where they finally stop being your hidden truth and start becoming your reality. Think about that. For so long, they existed in the background of your heart. Felt deeply, but not fully acknowledged. Loved silently, but not openly chosen. But now? That season is ending. Because once truth is recognized, it demands movement. And whether you realize it yet or not, you are both being pulled toward a moment of no return. A moment where honesty replaces hesitation. Where courage replaces fear. Where two hearts stop circling each other and finally meet in truth. But before that happens, there is one last inner barrier that must fall inside you. One fear. One doubt. One final hesitation still lingering in your heart. And until that disappears completely, the full union cannot begin. What is that final barrier? Why is it still holding part of you back even after everything you now know? There is one final thing standing between you and the love you keep feeling pull closer. And it is not distance. It is not timing. It is not another person. It is not fate working against you. It is fear. Don't skip, because this may be the truth your heart needed most. The final barrier between you and your soulmate is the fear of what happens if you fully let yourself believe this is real. Because deep down, part of you still asks questions you rarely admit out loud. What if I open my heart and I am wrong? What if I trust this and get hurt? What if this connection feels powerful, but still slips away? What if I finally choose them, and it changes everything? And that fear has been the last shadow keeping your heart from moving without hesitation. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate feels this too. They know your feelings are real. They know your heart has awakened. But they also sense that one part of you still pauses before surrendering completely. That is why the universe has not rushed this final moment yet. Because love this deep cannot be built on half trust. It requires full honesty. Not only with them, with yourself. You must decide whether you will keep protecting yourself from possibility, or finally allow yourself to receive what your soul has been asking for. Because here is the truth few people ever admit. Sometimes the hardest part of love is not finding it. It is believing you deserve it when it arrives. And that may be the very lesson this connection was sent to teach you. Your soulmate is crying with happiness because you realized your feelings. But they are also waiting for one more realization. The moment you understand that love this rare does not come into your life to be doubted forever. It comes to be chosen. Don't skip, because this next truth changes everything. The fear inside you was never really about them. It was about the past. Past disappointment. Past confusion. Past moments where trust was given and not honored. Past experiences that taught your heart to hesitate before leaping. But your soulmate is not your past. This connection is not your past. And if you keep treating something rare like it will become what hurt you before, you may delay the very love you prayed for. That is why this final barrier must fall. Not tomorrow. Not eventually. Now. Because your soulmate is approaching the point where silence ends. They are preparing emotionally, preparing mentally, preparing to meet you in truth. And when they do, they will not come halfway. They will come with honesty, with vulnerability, with emotion they can no longer hide. And when that happens, you must be ready to meet them there. Stay till the end. Because here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation. The reason your soulmate is crying so deeply is not only because you finally realized your feelings, it is because they know your realization means the version of you that kept running is disappearing. The guarded version, the hesitant version, the doubting version, the version that kept looking away from what was obvious. That version of you is ending. And in its place, a braver version is rising, a clearer version, a more honest version, a version finally ready to stop asking, what if this is not real? And start asking, what if this is exactly what I have been waiting for? Something huge is waiting for you, because when that final fear leaves your heart, nothing will remain between you and them. No confusion, no resistance, no emotional walls, only truth. And when two souls meet without fear, miracles happen. The reunion becomes effortless. The confession becomes natural. The connection deepens faster than either expected. That is the moment your soulmate is waiting for now. Not just your realization. Your courage. Because feelings awaken love. But courage allows love to arrive. And very soon, you may face the exact moment where you must choose, retreat into fear once again, or step into the love your heart already knows is real. When that moment arrives, your answer will shape everything.